I'm John Crowfoot. We're going to start at 11 o'clock. We're going to break off in bunches of like 30 or 40 and start heading down to a riverfront park. And there we have a rally going on with some live music, some speakers about GMOs and some issues with corporate problems with the food industry. Just going to be a good time. I started this. We really wanted to come down and wave our signs. No place to do it, so I thought, let's do it. Got together with a couple people from Spokane, and here we are. Good food is not a radical concept, so the support has been overwhelming. Grassroots all the way. People want good food. People deserve to know what's in their food. Awareness is the key to all this, from GMOs on up to bigger problems. Worldwide march today. It's been going on since yesterday. Sydney, Australia, Japan. It's all on Facebook. They're doing it in the rain, they're doing it in the wind, they're doing it in the sun. It's the people, grassroots everywhere, want food that's not tampered with. I miss corn on the cob. It's just as simple as that. It's about food and the future of our children and our children's children.
Okay. We will stop you! Monsanto! We will stop you! Monsanto! We will stop you! Monsanto! All right. Okay. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. For your children! 11:10.
I-522 is an initiative that's going to appear on the November ballot to label genetically engineered foods in the state of Washington. It doesn't ban GMOs. It doesn't do anything like that. It just simply says it gives us our right to know what we're eating. The initiative does not cover like restaurant food. What it covers is packaged foods and things you buy in the store. It covers seeds. So we'll be able to know through the entire supply chain whether the farmer bought seeds that are genetically engineered and whether someone bought crops from somebody who grew something that was genetically engineered, and so on up the chain, so that at the end of the day, if I go into the store and I grab a box of something, I can see on the label whether it had genetically engineered food. Right there on the box with all the other ingredients. Washington isn't alone in this. There's a lot of other states that have been taking action. California had an initiative. It's called Prop 37, and it had great support from all the people. But in the last couple of weeks, Monsanto spent $47 million to defeat that.
No Monsanto. No GMOs. No Monsanto. Yeah, you guys are great. Yeah, save your seed. Okay. Save your seed! Stop the greed! 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 Yeah! No GMO! No Monsanto! No GMO! No Monsanto! No GMO! No Monsanto! No GMO! No Monsanto! You guys rock! Yeah!
incredible. Wild huckleberries, bitterroot, and yarrow. It's a good thing to know all the blessings that grow ornamental, medicinal, and edible. The inland northwest is incredible. Wild thimbleberries, camas root, and marshmallow. It's a good thing to know all the blessings that grow ornamental, medicinal, and edible.
The inland northwest, welcome our friends. Eastern Washington, North Idaho is where it begins, between the Cascades and Rockies. You know, we don't got that oceanfront property, but we got a wonderful city right here on the river, so many lakes around, loving where I live. You know, we are inland from the Pacific, but not as far as Montana, North Oregon, all the way to the border of Canada, snuggled in by tons of rivers, nearly 100 lakes, an amazing aquifer, and some edible landscapes. Man, I'm grateful for the fact there's not a single skyscraper. We know to the map for many reasons is far greater. Fresh air, evergreen, 74 World's Fair, Hoop Fest, Iron Man, Bloomsday, Barter Fair, nice density and awareness, in ancient and perfect. Concert goes around, sincere respect, digging the vibe, showing support from the cities and towns. Summer, winter, a powder, a rock hound. Get down and having fun, holding strong, up perennial. Out working on the garden or taking a ride on the Centennial. Been a long road.
Young lady of the month.
know what's up, man. We don't want to be eating poison and confusion and pollution, so let's get our food pure.
La lucha hasta Argentina, Alaska, todo conectado. Hay muchos alimentos y lleno de nada. nutrimientos, divorciado de la comida. Cuidado lo que comes si viene del sistema. Elementos transgénicos, y ese es su problema. Protege el cuerpo, es nuestro templo. Cuídale bien, solamente tenemos uno. Queremos vivir de una manera sana cada día con la familia. Ambiente pura vida es la hora, amigos. El próximo paso da buen ejemplo con amor y respeto. El mundo ya tiene recursos para todos. Frutos de la planeta son regalos, bendiciones de la semilla para sembrar. Lesiones de la tierra siempre estudia la comida cruda con mucho potencial. Más sabrosa madura de un jardín local.
¿Quién es granjero?
Yo loco granjero.
La verdad de miedo. Hay cosas malas en las comidas.
¿Quién es el granjero? La verdad no es bueno. La comida más buena, natural de semilla. ¿Quién es el granjero? La verdad no es buena. Recetas con daño, ponga el cuerpo enfermo.
¿Quién es
Why you wanna
granjero?
make me sick, Mr.
La
Monsanto?
verdad de miedo.
What you put in that food?
Hay cosas
Bad
malas
things
en las comidas.
inside the food. Crucial question we must ask. Check the sources of provisions, blessing your plate and glass. Maybe fast, meditate. What really makes us full? The prayer company we share with the mountain of bowl. Chew on these thoughts before swallowing. Whole food understanding. Raw truth is demanding. Switch from mainstream understanding. Corporations mishandling. Food control on our health. Depopulation plans. Policies place emotions in. So fight back, be the change, take control of your diet. Not just buying better processed crap, but growing gardens and supplying it. Homesteaders, farmers markets, co-op owners, CSAs, a few containers, many acres make use of wasted space. Transform the vacant lots, rise up guerrilla gardeners in the city, from the country, calling out all the farmers, newcomers, green thumbers, all seasons or just summer. Planting a plot is contagious, my friend, feed your hunger.
Who is your farmer? There might be danger.
Could be danger,
GMO in your freezer.
Mr. Monsanto.
Check your refrigerator.
Yes. Yo, we giving so much thanks, y'all. Yo, just to let you guys know again, we are real life rockers. There's a lot going on right now. I want to welcome up a bigger speaker who's going to share a positive message. And Kim Colonel.
Wow, I'm amazed by this. I truly am amazed, and I'm honored to be a part of this group. Really a good showing and a lot of energy. It was really nice coming down on the walk today and seeing the enthusiasm of the crowd. And not only as we got separated and we got away from the people with the loudspeakers, other people joined in and started shouting out the chants and kept the whole thing going, kept the energy level up. It was wonderful. I want to start out by thanking the organizers of this. Jace and John, you guys did a fantastic job. And if anybody ever doubts that one person does not have the power or the strength to do something big, just look at this. This is a big deal. One person can make a difference. Thank you. And I want to thank all of you too for being out here. This is great. This is really good of you to take the time, but it's important. It's good for all of us. As I said, my name is Kim, and I'm from GMO Free Idaho. We're a group that formed over originally in the Boise area, but they were looking for other people to step forward and take part in the program. And so they sent out emails trying to get others involved, and a group of us up in the Coeur d'Alene area stepped forward and started this. And we decided that we would rather come over here to Spokane and join in with this group. Number one, we want to show support for the I-522 that's coming up in November. You know, this is something that, although we might be from Idaho, this is an issue that knows no borders. You know, it knows no borders. It's not gender specific. It's not specific to any particular age, political group, anything. It involves all of us who just want to know what's in our food. I mean, is that too much to ask? I was a former Californian, and so when Proposition 37 was going on over there, you can better believe I was following that close and trying to influence all my friends and family who are still back there. And I was very disappointed to see it get defeated. It was by a small amount, but in reality, we didn't lose there, we learned there. We learned from California. We learned the tricks that they're going to try and play on us, and we can be more prepared when Washington has their vote in November. Some of the things that Monsanto liked to try and hit the audience, the numbed down audience with when Proposition 37 was going, is they tried to give the myth that they're feeding a growing population. But if you look at Monsanto's crop, the major seeds that they're putting out there, corn, soybean, cotton, the majority of the corn and soybean is going to feed cattle, livestock. The stuff that's not going to livestock is ended up being put inside various over-processed foods that basically are just a bunch of garbage sitting on your grocery store shelves. That's not feeding us. That's just giving us hollow calories. Another thing that they talked about is they said that if they labeled the products, that it would cause confusion. People wouldn't get it. Are we that dumb? Really? I mean, look at all the other countries that label GM products. Are they walking around completely confused? I'll tell you what confuses me is it confuses me when I go into the grocery store and I grab a package off the shelf and there's 50, 60 different ingredients on there, and you almost need a degree in science or chemistry to understand what the products are in there. That's what confuses me. And then they tell us that by labeling it, there's going to be a problem with rising food costs. They've changed labels. They've added nutritional value to labels. They've done different changes to labels over time. It didn't cause any major cost increases in our food. And again, I would compare it to the other countries around the world that label their products, and it's just not true, you know. So, I want to make sure everybody here of voting age, make sure you're registered, make sure you have all your ducks in order as far as your registration being correct, and in November, let's get out and vote and get this proposition passed. I don't know if any of you happened to see, but there was some news in Bloomberg, and it was actually Hugh Grant was interviewed. And do you know who Hugh Grant is? He's the CEO for Monsanto. He referred to us as elitists, which I find funny. You look around this crowd, do you see anybody that looks like an elitist? Ah, yeah, here's his face. Go ahead and boo and hiss. You're welcome to do that. Thank you. Yeah, some of the things that Hugh happened to say in this interview, he said, the global population is growing and food consumption will rise even faster as people enter the middle class and eat more protein. Seems like the middle class is shrinking, isn't it? And when he's talking about eat more protein, I think he's talking about the dollar menu at some drive-up restaurant. He also said, those who pay more for organic food want to block others from choosing more affordable options. Can you believe that? So it's us, it's our fault. We're trying to block them? No. It's them trying to block us from having options on what we choose for our foods. He also said, there is space on the supermarket shelf for all of us. There's going to be more space for our stuff, that's for sure, because we're going to start stepping forward and we're going to start choosing the products that we want to buy, and we're going to send a message to the grocers. The grocers, if they got garbage sitting on the shelves and it's rotten, hey, these guys want to make money, you know, they want to make money just like anybody else. They're going to look for the products that sell, and if we're buying them, that's going to change things. We need to form tight communities. And when I say tight communities, I'm not talking about the person who lives next door to you or down the street from you. I'm talking about communities that have a like interest, like this group here. That's what we need. We need more people. We need to get to know each other. If you haven't made some new friends here today, I encourage you to do so. please get out and talk to some people, because these are people that have the same likes and interests as you do, and they're looking out for you, and you can look out for one another. So please get to know each other. And support. We need to start showing support for those who provide the products that we need. Get to know your local farmers, research your area, and find out what products are there, what are available that are organic, non-GMO type foods, and start buying them, and start talking to the farmer or the seller of these products. Get to know these people and let them know what your interests are. You know, we're not going to do any good if we don't talk to people. And you can even do this with your local grocer. You can go into your grocery store, and like I said, these people are trying to make a living. They're trying to do a job there. Talk to them. Has anybody ever sat and talked to your grocer and said, you know, I'd be really happy if you would put this product on your shelf, because this is what I am interested in. So be sure and do that. And you can do that at restaurants as well. You know, talk to restaurants and let them know that you'd like to see more organic products on their menu, more GMO-free products. And, you know, more people that speak up, more people that show the interest, we're going to get those products. It's going to make some changes. We need to spend more time with the families. We need to do more time on our cooking and our preparation, and pick out the better foods.
You know, I'm not a big fan of the media. Sometimes they just don't turn up the right sort of volume, you know. But real life situations do occur that press is a positive thing. When we getting a message out like this, a lot of people just don't know that they putting disease and seeds in cells so they can make a mill on a healthcare system that's failed. I mean, we can look at it so many ways, from stealing farmers' rights to not letting you even have the right to know what's in the food. So on so many fronts, we definitely gotta raise our voice for food sovereignty. That is the key to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Because when you ain't hungry, you really have a chance to think about something like a beautiful dream. But when you're hungry, you can't even get past that first step. And worldwide, they're not using GMO like they taught us to help like grow food in deserts. I'm seeing it more like they're like making the nutrients less, so we gotta buy more. It's just this twisted cycle. Exhale the signal to all crews, it's time to celebrate. Come together and make a wake, relate the conscious mind state. For faith we take the leaps, meditate on naturalistic, ready to be activated, real life's the catalyst. Worldwide voice and support for new way. It's a unity track as preparations are being made to trap us into cubicles of cancerous city life. Resistance is not futile, we must do what's right. Come together today and every day after this. May all the tribes unite so freedom can exist. You heard, you understood.
May all the tribes unite so freedom can exist. Come together, obviously we feel much better.
So much better.
Gotta live upright,
Stand tall.
appreciate the beauty of life. Come together, obviously we feel much better. Gotta live upright, appreciate the beauty of life.
Come together for all those who can't see the possibility. Day after day going hungry, caged by the depths of poverty. But we live in different reality, too comfortable in our vanity. Must change the status quo, move back to sustainable. Break the chains holding you back, so search where the power's at. All pieces of huddlement, come on, call huddle. Come together because we can, come together to understand. Come together for our brethren, worldwide we will enter towards a new direction. Change on the horizon, way we surviving is when unity's rising. You heard Spokane, you understood.
The way to survive is when unity rises. Come together, obviously we feel much better.
So much better.
Gotta live upright, appreciate the beauty of life. Come together, obviously we feel much better. Gotta live upright, appreciate the beauty of life.
Thank you all so much for coming out. Good Lord. So I'm Walt Clerfcorn, and I have a small farm up in Springdale that I've run since 1994. And I tell you, participating in what passes for a local agricultural economy has taught me at least one important lesson. Mary Elizabeth Lease, who was a populist back in the 19th century, was 100% correct when she said that farmers should raise less corn and more hell. And that's absolutely the truth, and that's what I'm dedicating myself to these days, because there's an awful lot of people that want to make it impossible for a farmer to make a living unless you're totally indebted and beholden to the corporate system. What's interesting now is that some of these far-right folks that were totally beholden to the corporate way of agriculture 20 years ago are now adamant opponents of GMOs. And they're swearing on a Bible that it's hurting their livestock to be feeding them GMO feed. And there's an event just like this today up in Colville, and it's going to be just as well attended, and that is what's starting to worry Monsanto. So as part of my personal hell-raising campaign, I'm the state coordinator for the Progressive Democrats of America. Now, we're not a part of the Democratic Party, but we are dedicated to making the Democratic Party start doing the right thing. We work inside and outside to build a party and a government controlled by citizens, not corporate elites, with policies that serve the broad public interest, not private interests. And what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to take for granted that you all know how bad GMOs are for your health, and that they're not good for you, they're not good for animals, they're not good for anything. But even if we set that aside, they're a part of a corporate system that is creating dependency. Even if they weren't unhealthy, they would be a bad thing. They're completely unacceptable. They're designed to destroy local economies and the self-sufficiency and independence necessary for democratic self-government and for broad-based prosperity, something we haven't had in this country for 40 years. Destroying small farms and local economies is part of the corporate agenda, and Monsanto is just a leading actor in that. I'm going to use the words of Elliot Coleman, who's a small farmer on the coast of Maine. He's well known for growing vegetables in the middle of the winter, 2/3 of the way up the Maine coast. And he had this to say a couple years ago. The small organic farm greatly discomforts the corporate industrial mind because the small organic farm is one of the most relentlessly subversive forces on the planet. Over centuries, both the communist and the capitalist systems have tried to destroy small farms because small farmers are a threat to the consolidation of absolute power. Thomas Jefferson said he didn't think we could have democracy unless at least 20% of the population was self-supporting on small farms so they were independent enough to be able to tell an oppressive government to stuff it. It is very difficult to control people who can create products without purchasing inputs from the system, who can market their products directly, thus avoiding the involvement of mercenary middlemen, who can butcher animals and preserve foods without reliance on industrial conglomerates, and who can't be bullied because they can feed their own faces. I think Elliot Coleman was is a very wise man. So Monsanto's only a part of what we're up against, but they are a glaring, blatant example of corporate greed. And I can only thank our stars that they're there, because look, it is Monsanto that is bringing you out here today, and that is the beginning of what we have to hope for. We're up against a very well-organized and well-funded opposition. They're working all the time. They own the media. They own just about everything. We're not going to beat them at their own game. We have only one way to beat them, and that is to create a movement. That is to organize. What we have today, this is activism, and that's a great thing. It's a way you enlarge your base, you teach people, you educate people, but ultimately we must organize. To talk about one of the other threats we face, I'll give you the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a supposed free trade agreement that's being negotiated right now. Now, this isn't freeing anything other than the ability of corporations to make more money and suck more wealth out of working class people. It's being negotiated in secret from the American people. It's being negotiated in secret from our elected representatives and the media as well. Nobody knows about it except 600 corporate advisors who not only get told what's going on, but get to direct what's going on. This agreement will totally destroy the ability of any nation to set any standards whatsoever to protect its people or its environment. And that is their goal. They want to be able to exploit everything for profit, including you, including your children. GMO labeling laws and European bans on GMO products are definitely targeted, and Monsanto is one of the 600 that is sitting at the table while the American people are shut out. This agreement is being negotiated right now. They hope to wrap it up by October, and they're going to try and ram it through Congress on what they call fast track, which is basically saying they get one yes or no vote, no amendments. Well, if we defeat fast track, we defeat this agreement. And we've done that before. Back in the 90s, we have taken down the fast track authority, and that is where the resistance is organizing around. I know the Backbone campaign is having a activist camp over in Bellingham coming up next month. There's some flyers down at the Occupy booth you can get about that. But we absolutely have to get together and stop this TPP, because I-522 is a great thing, and we're going to pass it here in Washington. But if they pass the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the Transatlantic Agreement that's following behind it, they're going to just look at us and say, well, I'm sorry, that's just an American law. We have a higher law. It's called corporate rule, and this is a restraint on trade, and it cannot be allowed. So your I-522, even though you voted for it, is no longer valid. So, as good as this turnout is today, we don't want to fall into complacency. We need to stay active, and even more important, we need to organize. Every one of you needs to make those personal and those organizational connections so that you can carry on fighting. This isn't just about coming out today and listening to some music and speeches on a nice day. We have to fight. We have to fight in Congress. We have to fight in the state legislators. We have to fight in the streets. The fight is everywhere, and we need all of you. None of us can do everything, but everybody can do something, and we all must, or we're not going to win. And we know what the world will look like if we don't win. We have to change this. We have to turn this around, and rebuilding local economies and restoring local farmers is part of it.
It's so great when we come together, because everyone's got different talents and strengths and information, and when we all unite in our community, then all the insights of each individual come forth as a whole. So today they definitely lined up people who got some details like the TPP. There's different things that we definitely need to be aware of. So many acronyms in 2013, you know. If you guys have been a part of the Facebook March Against Monsanto, they're gonna keep that thing alive, and they're actually they might be moving it, but they have a sign-up sheet right over here. So I want you guys to go out and connect, because it can't end today. The power of everyone coming together and linking in. So if you haven't linked in yet, man, please throw your name on the page or stay in tune with the Facebook, and they'll help you make a transition to a new Facebook page to keep us all together. But man, the old-fashioned way, man, just write your phone number. Those like call you on the phone. Oh man, we got a mighty man, Greg Gower, who just wrote a new track straight about Monsanto. It's fresh off the press, only a couple days old. He's gonna share it here today. That's a mighty thing, brother. Thank you for putting together the words. But honestly, we gotta, sometimes if we don't get it into song, maybe we don't always register it as long, because sometimes those little rhythms and rhymes, they stick in the mind, and then you might find yourself singing it like Tomorrow in the Sunshine and keeping that energy. So let's give it up one more time for Greg, and Linda might get up here in a little bit. We'll see.
Well, don't you just hate it when we play with your food? Does it make you want to cop an attitude? We could kill the farmer, but we feed the world. We could cross a carrot with a squirrel. Genes will blend and modify. We could blend asparagus with a fly. And since we don't label, you'll never know. We're Yuck Monsanto. Well, it takes a lot of money to rig the game. The price of one senator can be insane. Sometimes they let us write the laws, but that can help offset the cost. Don't you try to save your seeds, we'll only treat you like a weed. Who's in charge? You know, it's Yuck Monsanto. Well, whatever happens Stop into the family farm with barnyard scenes and country charm. They look so peaceful and serene, but not of much good when you're counting beans. So say hello to profit, say goodbye to your food. Sorry for the corporate business attitude. We could lie and tell you that we care, but to raise your hopes, that would be unfair. So just accept what's on your plate. Your boycott threats are far too late, 'cause we're gonna grow whatever we want to grow. We're yuck Monsanto. So say hello to profit, say goodbye to your food. Sorry for the callous business attitude. We could lie and tell you that we care, but to raise your hopes, now that would be unfair. So just accept what's on your plate. Your boycott now is far too late. We're gonna grow whatever we want to grow. We're yuck Monsanto.
Well, let's welcome up another speaker, Chris Narrison. Can you guys give him a round of applause? Welcome up to the stage.
To tell you the truth, I've got good news and bad news today. The bad news is I want to echo the comments of my friend Walter Clefcorn, that the problems, the reason that Monsanto is able to conduct its destructive activities with impunity from the public and from what's good for the public at large is the structures of law in this country, that the law is organized to give them more rights than individuals. And the current one that people are organizing around is Citizens United, but that's just the biggest tree in a forest of corporate privilege. And that if we're going to stop Monsanto from its destructive practices, we are going to need to challenge those structures of law. It's as simple as that, okay? And the reason that without that, it's as though we can't stop Monsanto unless we can stop Exxon, unless we can stop J.P. Morgan, unless we can stop, all the other these multinational corporations that engage in this extremely destructive behavior, okay? And so, having said that, that's the bad news, all right? The bad news is that it's us against them. It's the public against a multitude of large corporations that are completely in it just for themselves. And as a matter of fact, the law requires that they engage in the most destructive practices if it leads to greater shareholder value. That's actually embedded in the law. They have to do what maximizes shareholder value, regardless of the effect on the community. And that's our challenge. That's what we need to do, is to challenge those structures of law. And so I'm going to ask you today, I'm calling out that there's going to be a clean and fair elections ordinance on the ballot in Spokane this fall. That ordinance would prohibit corporate lobbying, corporate involvement in initiatives, and corporate donations to candidates for elected office in the city of Spokane, okay? Myself and a handful of other people last summer gathered the signatures to get this measure on the ballot. And we succeeded in doing that last fall. We've just come off a month of wrangling with the city council to get them to do the right thing and put it on the ballot. It looks like we've successfully completed that part of the task. And now we've got a campaign, Now I need campaign workers. I need people to get out in the street and tell the truth about how corrupt our campaign and political system is. I need people to get out in the street and counter the lies that our opponents are going to throw at us. And I need lots of people. And I need people that can do anything. And we need to show the politicians that these structures of law, that this current system of political campaigning and lobbying isn't acceptable. We need to withdraw our consent. And the Clean and Fair Elections Ordinance would be that withdrawal of consent.
beside a river before the West was won. The council told the people how the city would be run. Didn't matter how they voted, didn't matter what they'd say. It was thank you for your input, now just go away. The man who ran the Tribune, he compiled all the clues. He dug the presses and he printed up the news. The boys out on the corner, they all sing the song. You read it in the paper, so it can't be wrong. The people are crazy. The people are insane. They want to take all of our profits and flush them down the drain. The people are revolted. They've all lost their minds. They want to take our old traditions and leave them all behind. No one thought about it till the council grew, and they scratched each other's backs until everybody knew. The greedy hate the needy and the rich deplore the poor. We ought to wipe them out, we can always make some more. So the people got together, they came up with a plan to give a voice to every woman, child, and man. Then they gave it to the council, who lit the thing on fire, as reported by the Tribune and the Newsboy Choir. Now in a town beside a river, democracy was done, as sure as though it were a bullet from a gun. It died because we let it, nobody got involved, and left the world's problems for someone else to solve. It died while we were busy watching Dancing with the Stars. Geico as pursuing fads and shopping for cars. So now we got something, but it's not democracy. You get just what you pay for, and this we got for free. Well, the people are crazy. The people are insane. They want to take all of our profits and flush them down the drain. The people are revolted. They've all lost their minds. They want to take our old traditions and leave them all behind. The people are disgusting. What else is there to say? We used to have democracy and threw it all away. Thank you.
I like that one. Stop GMO. And you got to label. Stop GMO. Label GMOs. We want to stop them, but also just the first step, let's label them, huh? Let's at least let us know it's in there. And then from there, we can continue. We're going to see the research, what the science is saying. I personally look, the science and research I read doesn't look like we really want them around as humanity, but it's a democracy, so we're definitely going to raise our voice the appropriate manner, and let's at least start getting them labeled.
Let's give a round of applause. Let's welcome them up. Starlight Motel.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for dancing out there, dancers. Hey, we love dancers.
Good dancers.
Can't stop big corporations if you don't dance.
This goes out to the whole world, all of us.
Thanks everybody coming out today. Good cause. A lot more people behind you.
And we got another speaker. I'd like to welcome up Deb. Are you out there?
My speaker.
You say Deb Conklin?
Deb Conklin.
I'm actually sort of a spiritual presence in several communities, both the Oak Tree Ministry and some United Methodist churches. And so I wanted to kind of talk about the spiritual aspects of this issue. You know, I come from a tradition that says that this whole thing is the result of this amazing divine creative energy. And some of you come from a place that says that this whole amazing, astounding thing is the result of some sort of crazy cosmic accident. But however we think we got here, what is here is precious and amazing and wonderful. And when we don't take care of it, it's going to be destroyed. You know, for good or ill, for planned or accident, we have become the stewards of creation. We have become the stewards of nature. And we were doing a piss poor job of it. And so we need to recognize the importance of the earth, the importance of creation, the importance of this world that we live in. You know, there's a writer called Joseph Chilton Pearce, and he's not very trendy anymore, but he wrote a series of books. One of them is The Magical Child, and one of them is a series of books about the crack in the cosmic egg. And if we don't bond with the earth, if we don't make that connection, then we don't develop to our full potential. And so if we don't have a healthy earth to connect to, if we don't make that bond, if we don't have, you know, Mother Earth, Matrix Earth, whichever you want to call it, then our spirits are less. Our souls are diminished. The world is diminished. And so we have not just an ethical responsibility, but a spiritual imperative to take care of this amazing, intricately intertwined creation that we have. And so if we don't take care of that, it will eventually not just be our bodies taking in poisons and our minds being toxified, it will be our spirits being snuffed out. Because our spirits are connected with the spirit of nature and creation and all of that. And so I just want to quickly share with you, there's one more speaker that I'm going to introduce, but I want to share with you a poem by E.E. Cummings. I thank you, Creator, for this amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits of trees and a blue true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes. I, who have died, am alive again today. And this is the sun's birthday. This is the birthday of life and love and wings and of the gay, great, happening, illimitably earth. How should tasting, touching, hearing, seeing, breathing, any lifted from the know of all nothing, human, merely being, doubt unimaginable you? Now the ears of my ears awake. Now the eyes of my eyes are opened.
We on the original. Someone's feeling. They can share with me. I was gonna get one from you guys.
We will stop you, Monsanto.
We will stop you, Monsanto. We will stop you, Monsanto. We will stop you, Monsanto. One more time. We will stop you, Monsanto. All right. Yes, a little lung check. Nice, man. Make some noise for yourselves. Y'all still energized and feeling it?
Well, there's 5 kinds of people living in this world. Rich ones, poor ones, and boys and girls. Then there's corporations, and that ain't right. If you agree, come on and join the fight and let's amend. The Constitution, let's amend. Let's amend. The Constitution, let's amend. The business plan is fiscally sound. You take a pile of money and you spread it around. You take a little to the left and more to the right, and a bunch to the media to even fight. Obama nation regulation, that ain't fair. We need room to prove. We need laissez-faire. We need loopholes open to find a way.
that's a man. Well, it's only right that the rich prevail. They succeed where others fail. They'll take everything that they can get, 'cause after all, you know they're bred to hit, so that's a man.
Now I want to introduce Chris Ostrander. He's the director of Pine Meadows Farms, which is an educational farm out in Cheney, and they do great work out there. So Chris?
Farming is what we're all talking about when it comes to growing food that's healthy, that's safe for the planet, that's safe for the bees. And what we're trying to do at the center is teach people how to get back into the soil and grow their own food. I firmly believe that the region around Spokane can someday soon feed Spokane again, instead of us trucking in food from who knows where, contaminated with who knows what. I know that if that land was growing food and that people were gainfully employed growing that food on that idle land, that our economy would benefit greatly from all of that extra activity, growing money out of the ground, and growing good nutrition for our children. Monsanto has a different picture of how they want the world to be fed, and we need to just reject that and take control of the local food system ourselves. Nobody is ever going to get rich on farming healthy, nutritious local food. People can get rich selling the garbage that Monsanto is, up to making, but where's that at? Let's end this tradition where farmers have to have a full-time outside off-the-farm job just to be able to farm. That's ridiculous. Let's level the playing field. Let's honor the farmer by letting them live on pieces of land that they tend and that their offspring will tend in perpetuity, and allow them to live there for virtually nothing while they're growing the stuff that keeps the rest of society going. We need to really look at all of the rules and regulations that are standing in the way of allowing that to happen again, because that is true quality of life when we have vibrant farms surrounding population centers like this. So we need to, the city is working on that. There was the Food Economy Summit that happened a few weeks ago that the city is working on, and there's some city council people that are looking at some of the local ordinances in the city. But the city doesn't have a lot of farmland. There's a lot that can be done, but we really need to hit the county. We need to get some county commissioners in there that understand the importance of the local food economy, little mom and pop farms, little communal farms dotted around the landscape. Farming is one of the most honorable professions. Let's let more people do it.
In the Northwest, we ready for what's next.
The in the Northwest is incredible. Wild huckleberries, bitterroot, and yarrow. And it's a good thing to know all the blessings that go ornamental, medicinal, and edible. Oh, the in the Northwest is incredible. Yes. Wild huckleberries, camas root, and marshmallow. It's a good thing to know all the blessings that go ornamental, medicinal, and edible.
The struggle against GMO food is so much deeper than just what Monsanto's doing. It's also what me and you are doing in our backyards. What we're doing on our weekends, helping out our neighbors, working in communities, being involved. Sustainability and an alternative way of life, I feel, is like a full-time endeavor. And may this struggle against, we know GMOs, unite us on so many fronts, man. I see a lady out here giving away some fresh heirloom vegetables. We got people connecting, they're like, man, I took hundreds of perennial edible starts, and I want to share them with you, and you, and you. One last one. This one goes out to everyone loving this precious place, conscious of how and what we waste, striving for a better way, like the roots and the permaculture people, on and off the grid, cherishing our water and soil, cause all this could be spoiled. We could ruin this incredibleness, like the effect on native culture after the white man's conquest. All this land was someone else's, well preserved and nurtured, home to the first Americans before they were restructured. So we big enough local tribes, Flathead, Blackfoot, Rottweiler, Spokane, Palouse, Caldwell, and Yakima. We love you all. You got so much to teach that's crucial. Living in harmony with the land to make it even more beautiful, cause it's precious. Let's look around. We got people representing in the downtown march on Monsanto. Yo, we loving y'all. Thank you for representing. Hey!
The in the Northwest is incredible. Wild huckleberries, bitterroot, yarrow. It's a good thing to know all the blessings that grow ornamental, medicinal, and edible. The inland northwest is incredible. Wild thimbleberries, camas root, and marshmallow. It's a good thing to know all the blessings that grow ornamental, medicinal, and edible.
Yeah, I hope you hear us in these public buildings around the way. Officials and representatives know the people are raising their voice. I want to let you guys know, if you're down with the track, supporting the movement, we're your artists, your local representatives on the front lines, trying to pump conscious music into the scene. We just dropped our first album, Who's Your Farmer's on it, Bar 1. You can check it on iTunes, realliferockers.com. It's such a joy to be here, man. I got a special guest, we're about to welcome up, but I'm gonna let these boys, the Rockers, take it away for y'all. Yo, give them a mix and just take it away, eh?